Chapter 1: The Introduction. In the picturesque town of Harmonyville, where cobblestone streets lined with charming shops and blooming flowers created an idyllic atmosphere, Emily Thompson was a familiar face. Nestled amidst this quaint setting, Emily's bookstore, aptly named Whispering Pages, stood as a haven for book lovers seeking solace in the written word. Emily was no ordinary woman, she was the heartbeat of Harmonyville. Her warmth, kindness, and ever-present smile had a way of making everyone feel at home. Locals would often find refuge in her bookstore, not just to peruse the carefully curated collection of novels, but also to soak in the comforting ambience Emily had cultivated over the years. The small town, with its white picket fences and neighbors who knew each other by name, exuded an air of tranquility. Yet, like the calm surface of a pond concealing the mysteries beneath, Harmonyville harbored a secret, a tale that had been tucked away in the recesses of time, waiting for the right moment to surface. Emily, despite her role as the town's literary guardian, was blissfully unaware of the enigma that lingered beneath the veneer of daily life. Her days were filled with the routine of recommending books, engaging in heartfelt conversations with patrons, and occasionally organizing community reading events. Little did she know that her life was about to take an unexpected turn, a turn that would unravel the threads of a long-buried mystery. The Elm Street, where Whispering Pages stood proudly, served as a metaphorical artery of the town. It was not just a physical location, it was the conduit through which stories flowed, both within the pages of the books that lined the shelves and in the lives of the people who frequented the establishment. Yet, within this seemingly ordinary street, a current of intrigue pulsed quietly, threatening to disrupt the calm waters of Harmonyville. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow on the facades of the buildings, Emily closed the creaking door of her bookstore, unaware that the tranquility of Elm Street was about to be shattered. A mystery, dormant for years, was awakening, and the journey to unravel its secrets was set to begin in the heart of Harmonyville. Little did Emily know, her life would soon become a narrative woven with suspense, tension, and the echoes of a past waiting to be heard.
Chapter 2: A Quiet Life. Harmonyville's days unfolded with rhythmic predictability, each sunrise ushering in a new chapter of simplicity for Emily Thompson. Her quaint life, nestled within the confines of the town's gentle embrace, was a testament to the peaceful existence that she had carved out for herself. As the owner of Whispering Pages, Emily found solace in the written word and joy in connecting people with stories that mirrored their own. Her mornings began with the soft chime of the bell above her bookstore's entrance, signaling the commencement of another day in the sanctuary of literature. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mixed with the subtle scent of aging paper, creating an atmosphere that embraced both the contemporary and the classic. Emily's small bookstore became a refuge for those seeking refuge from the hustle and bustle of life outside its doors. Behind the worn wooden counter, Emily stood with a genuine smile, always ready to recommend the perfect book to her patrons. She had an uncanny ability to understand the unspoken desires of readers, steering them toward tales that resonated with their souls. In her world, the turning of pages wasn't just a mechanical act but a shared journey through the realms of imagination and emotion. The townsfolk revered Emily not just for her literary prowess but for the sense of community she fostered within Whispering Pages. Regulars, young and old, would gather in the cozy corners of the bookstore, engrossed in their chosen narratives, occasionally exchanging smiles or thoughts on the latest bestseller. The simple pleasure of sharing a quiet moment with a good book became a ritual, a binding force that strengthened the fabric of Harmonyville. Yet, beneath the calm exterior of Emily's routine, the universe had quietly conspired to introduce a plot twist into her life. Unbeknownst to her, the tranquil waters of her existence were about to be stirred, creating ripples that would challenge the very foundation of her serene life. Harmonyville's clock tower chimed in the distance, marking the end of another harmonious day. As Emily closed the shop, the air was pregnant with a subtle tension, a prelude to the unforeseen events that awaited her. Little did she fathom that the piece she cherished was destined to make way for a tumultuous turn, propelling her into a narrative filled with unexpected twists and turns. The quiet life she held dear was on the brink of transformation, and the tranquility of Harmonyville was about to be disrupted by a mystery that had silently taken root. The pages of Emily's life, once bound by the simplicity of routine, were about to be turned by the hands of fate, revealing a chapter she never knew existed.
Chapter 3: The Mysterious Caller. It was a gloomy afternoon in Harmonyville, the sky draped in heavy clouds, casting a somber hue over the cobblestone streets. Inside Whispering Pages, the atmosphere mirrored the weather outside. The occasional sound of raindrops tapping on the windows provided a rhythmic backdrop as Emily tidied up the shelves, lost in the comforting aroma of books and the soft hum of the ticking clock. Just as she reached for a book on the top shelf, the telephone on the counter rang, its shrill sound cutting through the quiet ambience of the bookstore. Startled, Emily hurried to answer it, the receiver feeling cool against her trembling fingers. "Hello," she greeted, her voice betraying a touch of curiosity and apprehension. The voice on the other end was shrouded in secrecy, speaking in hushed tones that sent shivers down Emily's spine. It was a voice that seemed to echo from the shadows of the past, carrying the weight of untold stories. "Emily Thompson," the mysterious caller whispered, "I know about the tragedy you've tried so hard to forget. The secrets that lie buried in the recesses of your heart. Meet me at the old oak tree near Miller's Bridge at sunset, and I will reveal the truth that has haunted your dreams." A stunned silence followed, broken only by the soft crackle of static on the line. Emily's mind raced, attempting to grasp the gravity of the revelation. How could someone know about the hidden corners of her past? The tragedy she had buried deep within the confines of her memories? "Who are you?" Emily demanded, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. But the mysterious caller had already disconnected, leaving Emily with a profound sense of unease. The old oak tree near Miller's Bridge, a place that held significance in her past, now beckoned with an air of foreboding. As the rain outside intensified, Emily grappled with a torrent of emotions. The promise of truth hung in the air, mingling with the scent of aged books, creating an atmosphere charged with suspense. The hands of the clock seemed to move in slow motion as Emily debated whether to embrace the mysterious invitation or retreat into the comfort of ignorance. The decision weighed heavily on her shoulders, and the quaint bookstore, once a sanctuary, now felt like a crossroads between the known and the unknown. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across Harmonyville, Emily made a choice that would set in motion a series of events, unraveling the tightly wound threads of her past. The mysterious caller had ignited a spark, and Emily was about to embark on a journey into the heart of her own history, where the whispers of secrets threatened to become a deafening roar.
Chapter 4: Unraveling the Past. The echoes of the mysterious caller lingered in the air as Emily closed the door of Whispering Pages behind her. The quaint town of Harmonyville seemed different, its charming facade now concealing the weight of untold secrets. Emily's steps were purposeful, guided by the haunting invitation to the old oak tree near Miller's Bridge. Arriving at the designated spot, the evening sky painted in hues of amber and indigo, Emily felt a sense of trepidation. The wind whispered through the leaves of the ancient oak, creating a symphony of rustling sounds that harmonized with the rhythm of her racing heart. From the shadows emerged a figure, shrouded in darkness. The mysterious caller revealed themselves, their features obscured by the dim light. The air crackled with tension as Emily confronted the enigma before her. "I know about your past, Emily," the figure intoned. "The tragedy that binds you to this town. I have the key to unlock the secrets that have haunted your soul." As the truth began to unfold, Emily listened in stunned silence. The revelation cut through the fabric of her carefully constructed reality, exposing a chapter she had desperately tried to forget. Years ago, Emily's family had been a portrait of happiness in Harmonyville. The Thompsons were well regarded, their joyous laughter echoing through the town. However, like an unexpected storm, tragedy struck. Emily's younger sister, Sarah, had fallen in love with Daniel, a charismatic artist who had captured her heart. Their love was a beacon of hope but became the epicenter of a tempest that would shatter the family's tranquility. As Emily delved into old photographs and letters, each piece of the past became a poignant reminder of the love that had once flourished and the pain that followed. Sarah and Daniel's love had faced insurmountable obstacles, met with disapproval from Emily's parents. The couple's attempts to defy societal expectations resulted in a series of heart-wrenching events that tore the family apart. A forbidden love, an estranged sister, and a tragic twist of fate painted a narrative Emily had long tried to bury. The pain resurfaced with each photograph, each letter, pulling her deeper into the vortex of emotions she thought she had left behind. As the moon cast a silvery glow on the pages of the past, Emily faced the bitter reality of her own history. The weight of the revelation hung heavy in the air, leaving her to grapple with the ghosts that had haunted her dreams for years. Harmonyville, once a haven, now became the stage for a heartbreaking drama that unfolded in the shadows of regret and loss. Haunted by the fragments of a shattered family and the specter of a love that never had a chance to bloom, Emily stood beneath the old oak tree, her emotions a tumultuous sea. The journey to unravel the past had only just begun, and with it came the realization that the answers she sought would demand not only courage but also a willingness to confront the painful truths that had shaped her existence.
Chapter 5: Confessions and Tears. The moon hung low in the night sky, casting a silvery glow over Harmonyville as Emily grappled with the weight of her newly unearthed past. The revelation of her family's tragedy had left her soul raw, emotions churning like a turbulent sea. Unable to bear the burden alone, Emily sought solace in the comforting presence of her closest confidant, Susan. Susan, with her unwavering support and empathetic demeanor, had been a constant presence in Emily's life since childhood. Their bond transcended friendship, it was a sisterhood forged through shared secrets and countless moments of laughter. As Emily confided in Susan about the mysterious caller and the painful history that had been concealed for years, the two women found themselves bound by a shared commitment to confront the shadows of the past. In the cozy living room of Emily's modest home, the flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating an intimate atmosphere that mirrored the gravity of their conversation. The air seemed charged with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation as Emily poured out her heart, revealing the long-buried secrets that had haunted her. Susan listened with a compassionate ear, her eyes reflecting a mix of empathy and concern. As the tale unfolded, Emily's voice wavered with emotion, the words catching in her throat at times. The tragedy of Sarah and Daniel, the shattered family bonds, and the pain she had suppressed for years all spilled out, each confession an agonizing step toward healing. "I don't know how to face it, Susan," Emily admitted, tears streaming down her cheeks. "The guilt, the regret, it's overwhelming. I feel as if I failed them." Susan reached across the small coffee table, her hand finding Emily's. "You didn't fail anyone, Emily. The past is a labyrinth of choices, and we can only navigate through it with the understanding that we were different people back then. What matters now is how you choose to confront it." Empowered by Susan's words, Emily made a decision to confront the ghosts that haunted her, to seek closure for herself and the lingering shadows of her family's past. Together, the two friends embarked on a journey back in time, revisiting the places and memories that had been carefully tucked away. As they walked the streets of Harmonyville under the moonlit night, the air thickened with a palpable tension. The town, once a backdrop to their shared laughter and innocent escapades, now bore witness to a solemn pilgrimage into the heart of regret and redemption. The journey led them to the old Thompson family home, where the walls seemed to echo with the laughter of the past and the pain of what could have been. Emily stood before the door, hand trembling as she reached for the handle. The time for confessions and tears had arrived, and within those familiar walls, the healing process would unfold amidst the echoes of a story long kept silent.
Chapter 6: A Town Divided. The revelation of Emily's family tragedy echoed through the quiet corners of Harmonyville like an unexpected thunderclap, shattering the illusion of the town's idyllic serenity. Whispers traveled swiftly, carried by the wind, and soon every cobblestone street seemed to vibrate with the weight of long-buried secrets. The tranquil facade that once defined Harmonyville crumbled, giving way to a town divided. News of Emily's quest to unravel the past spread like wildfire, igniting a chain reaction of reactions among the townsfolk. Some embraced the opportunity to confront the truth, viewing Emily's pursuit as a noble quest for closure and healing. These individuals, drawn to the notion of shedding light on the shadows that had lingered for years, offered their support and empathy. Conversely, a faction emerged, resistant to the disruption of the town's delicate equilibrium. These skeptics questioned the necessity of revisiting the past, arguing that some secrets were better left buried. The notion of peeling back the layers of history seemed to threaten the very foundation of the community, causing ripples of discomfort and dissent. Emily, once a beloved figure in Harmonyville, found herself at the epicenter of this division. Her journey, initially a personal pursuit, had morphed into a communal reckoning, and the consequences were palpable. The town square, once a gathering place for friendly exchanges and communal events, now bore witness to hushed conversations and pointed glances. The local cafe, a hub of daily interactions, became a battleground of opinions. As patrons sipped their coffee, the air buzzed with conflicting views on Emily's revelations. Some argued that the truth, however painful, was essential for genuine healing. Others contended that the past was better left undisturbed, a sentiment rooted in fear of the uncomfortable truths that might surface. Harmonyville, once united in its simplicity, became a canvas splattered with the contrasting hues of curiosity and resistance. It was as if the town itself was grappling with its own identity, torn between the desire for an unblemished facade and the inherent human need for truth and reconciliation. Emily, acutely aware of the divisive currents swirling around her, pressed forward with determination. She continued her pursuit, undeterred by the sideways glances and murmured disagreements. As she revisited old haunts, each step intensified the tension that gripped Harmonyville, turning it into a town on the precipice of transformation. Amidst the growing discord, Emily's journey became a catalyst for self-reflection among the townsfolk. The lines between ally and adversary blurred as individuals grappled with their own internal conflicts, torn between the comfort of the familiar and the unsettling allure of the truth. In the midst of this turmoil, Harmonyville stood at a crossroads, its future uncertain. The town's unity, once taken for granted, now hung in the balance, as the shadows of the past threatened to reshape the very fabric of the community. As Emily pressed on, driven by a determination to confront the ghosts that haunted her, the town around her braced for the seismic shifts that loomed on the horizon.
Chapter 7: The Detective's Trail. As the tension in Harmonyville thickened like a storm cloud, Emily realized that the complexity of her family's tragedy required more than personal introspection. It demanded a keen investigative eye, someone adept at navigating the labyrinth of secrets that veiled her past. With a resolve that mirrored the unwavering determination she had displayed thus far, Emily decided to enlist the expertise of a seasoned investigator, a retired detective named Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris, a wiry figure with a weathered face that told stories of countless cases, had a reputation for unraveling the most intricate mysteries. He had traded his detective badge for a quieter life, but the fire for solving puzzles still burned within him. Emily sought him out, hoping that his experience and keen insight would illuminate the shadows that cloaked her family's past. Their collaboration began in the dimly lit corner of a coffee shop, where the aroma of freshly ground beans mingled with the anticipation that hung in the air. Emily explained the cryptic phone call, the revelation of her sister's tragic love, and the rift that had torn her family asunder. Mr. Harris listened intently, his sharp eyes narrowing as he absorbed the nuances of the story. "I'll help you, Emily," he finally declared, his voice carrying the weight of a commitment to justice. "But be prepared. The road to truth is often fraught with unexpected turns." Together, Emily and Mr. Harris embarked on a meticulous investigation, poring over old documents, speaking to long-forgotten witnesses, and following a trail of breadcrumbs that led them through the annals of Harmonyville's history. The town, once divided by whispers and skepticism, now watched with a mix of curiosity and apprehension as the detective and his determined accomplice delved deeper into the past. As they explored the archives of the local newspaper, faded headlines and ink-stained pages began to reveal the drama that had unfolded years ago. It became evident that the tragedy involving Sarah and Daniel was not just a personal affair but a reflection of societal norms and prejudices that had plagued Harmonyville in its not-so-distant past. They spoke to elderly residents who had been eyewitnesses to the events that unfolded, their memories serving as fragments of a puzzle that Emily and Mr. Harris pieced together with meticulous care. Each revelation brought forth a layer of the narrative, uncovering hidden motives, societal pressures, and unexpected alliances that had played a role in the tragedy. Emily, once a bookseller immersed in the fictional worlds of novels, found herself navigating a real-life detective novel. The clues were not neatly packaged within the covers of a bestseller, but scattered across the town, waiting to be unearthed. The gravity of the mystery tugged at her every step, propelling her further down a path where truth and deception intermingled. As the detective's trail wound through Harmonyville's alleys and hidden corners, the town, too, felt the reverberations of their quest. Allies emerged from unexpected quarters, individuals who, touched by the sincerity of Emily's pursuit, chose to cast aside the shackles of silence and contribute to the unraveling truth. The air buzzed with anticipation as Harmonyville held its breath, waiting for the detective's findings to shed light on the darkness that had clung to the town for far too long. The heart of the tragedy lay ahead, and with every step they took, Emily and Mr. Harris edged closer to the elusive resolution that had eluded them for years.
Chapter 8: Confrontation. Harmonyville, a town once wrapped in the cozy embrace of routine, found itself caught in the throes of anticipation as Emily and Mr. Harris pursued the elusive truth. The detective's trail had led them through a labyrinth of hidden motives, long-forgotten alliances, and suppressed memories, each revelation bringing them one step closer to the heart of the tragedy that had haunted the town. As the duo closed in on the truth, they faced unexpected obstacles that seemed to materialize from the shadows. Whispers of their investigation spread through Harmonyville like wildfire, and the web of lies that had concealed the past threatened to entangle them. The once unified town now stood on the precipice of revelation, and the suspense reached its peak. The aging oak tree near Miller's Bridge, the site of the enigmatic phone call and the place where Emily's journey had begun, now beckoned them once more. The atmosphere was charged with tension as Emily and Mr. Harris stood beneath its sprawling branches, the moon casting a spectral glow on the ground. The wind carried with it a sense of foreboding, as if the very air held the secrets they sought. Their investigation led them to a dilapidated mansion at the outskirts of town, its facade weathered by time and neglect. The mansion, once a symbol of opulence, now stood as a haunting testament to the past. As they crossed the threshold, the creaking floorboards seemed to groan in protest, as if resisting the resurrection of memories long buried. The rooms, draped in dusty sheets and adorned with faded portraits, concealed the ghosts of a bygone era. Emily and Mr. Harris moved cautiously, unraveling the threads of the past with each step. The echoes of laughter and whispered confessions lingered in the air, as if the walls themselves yearned to unburden the weight of their secrets. Unexpectedly, they encountered a figure from the past, someone who had played a pivotal role in the tragic events that had unfolded. The confrontation was not just a clash of personalities but a collision of conflicting truths and suppressed guilt. The air thickened with unresolved emotions as accusations were hurled and defenses erected. The mansion, once silent witness to the passage of time, now bore witness to a reckoning. The suspense peaked as layers of deception were peeled away, exposing the motivations that had fueled the tragedy. Harmonyville, held captive by the specter of the past, awaited the outcome of this dramatic confrontation. The climactic moment arrived as Emily, armed with newfound knowledge and the courage to face her own demons, confronted those responsible for the pain that had marred her family. The truth, laid bare in the harsh light of revelation, forced the guilty to confront the consequences of their actions. As the confrontation unfolded, Harmonyville stood at the crossroads of redemption and accountability. The very foundations of the town trembled, its people grappling with the reality that the past could no longer be concealed. The suspense reached its zenith, And the outcome of this dramatic confrontation would etch itself into the annals of Harmonyville's history, forever altering the trajectory of its future.
Chapter 9: Redemption and Closure. The aftermath of the climactic confrontation left Harmonyville suspended in a fragile equilibrium, the dust settling on the revelations that had shaken the foundations of the small town. Emily stood at the center of this emotional whirlwind, grappling with the complex interplay of justice and forgiveness. The dilapidated mansion, once the clandestine stage for the town's deepest secrets, now bore witness to the aftermath of the truth. The air hung heavy with the residue of emotions as Emily, Mr. Harris, and the key players in the tragic events faced the consequences of their actions. For Emily, the moment of reckoning was bittersweet. The truth, though painful, had liberated her from the burden of the past. Yet, justice demanded accountability, a concept that carried a weight of its own. As she stood before those who had played a role in the tragedy, the conflicting emotions within her were palpable. The resolution unfolded with a tapestry of emotions, confessions, apologies, and moments of silent reflection. The guilty, stripped bare of the lies that had bound them, faced the consequences of their actions. Redemption, however elusive, flickered like a distant star on the horizon. The townspeople, initially divided by skepticism and apprehension, now witnessed the unfolding drama with a collective breath held. Harmonyville, though scarred by its secrets, began the process of healing as the truth became a potent antidote to the festering wounds of the past. As Emily navigated the delicate balance between justice and forgiveness, she found unexpected allies among the townspeople. The realization that the tragedy was not just a personal affair but a shared community experience became a catalyst for empathy. The divisions that had once marked Harmonyville began to fade, replaced by a collective understanding of the importance of facing the past. The resolution brought a mix of emotions, relief, sorrow, and a sense of closure that permeated the very fabric of the town. Emily, though still haunted by the memories of the past, felt a weight lift from her shoulders. The scars remained, etched into the collective consciousness of Harmonyville, but the process of healing had begun. The lessons learned in the aftermath of the confrontation were profound. The town, once hesitant to confront its own shadows, now understood the transformative power of truth. The importance of acknowledging the past and embracing the complexity of human relationships became embedded in the community's ethos. Harmonyville, now wiser and more resilient, started to rebuild. The once whispered secrets were replaced by conversations that echoed with sincerity and understanding. The old oak tree near Miller's Bridge, witness to the enigmatic phone call that had set Emily on this journey, stood as a silent sentinel to the town's evolution. In the final chapters of this tale, Harmonyville emerged from the crucible of its past, forever changed but resilient. The redemption sought by Emily and the closure craved by the community marked the beginning of a new chapter, where the scars of history became the foundation for a stronger, more compassionate town. As the sun set on the cobblestone streets, Harmonyville embraced its renewed sense of community, united by the collective realization that facing the truth was the first step towards redemption and closure.
The intricate tapestry of the story that unfolded in Harmonyville weaves a profound moral lesson, leaving indelible imprints on the hearts of both its characters and its readers. At its core, the narrative encapsulates a universal truth that resonates across time and cultures, delivering a moral that transcends the boundaries of fiction and echoes in the corridors of reality. The moral of the story is a timeless reminder that sometimes, the most challenging path we can embark upon is the one that leads us back into the labyrinth of our past. Confronting the painful truths, those skeletons that linger in the closets of our memories, can be an arduous journey fraught with emotional turmoil and uncertainty. However, the story of Harmonyville underscores the inherent wisdom in facing the shadows of our history. In the tapestry of the narrative, Emily's quest for truth becomes a metaphor for the collective human experience. We often find ourselves ensnared by the weight of unresolved issues, shackled to the ghosts of our past. The allure of burying painful memories and avoiding uncomfortable confrontations is tempting, yet the story suggests that true redemption and closure can only be achieved through the courageous act of facing our own truths. Harmonyville, in all its simplicity, becomes a microcosm of society at large. The town's initial resistance to the revelation of long-buried secrets mirrors the innate human tendency to avoid discomfort, preferring the safety of ignorance. However, as the story unfolds, it becomes evident that the pursuit of truth is not only an individual endeavor but a collective responsibility. The moral extends beyond the personal realm, highlighting the interconnectedness of our lives. Emily's journey isn't solely about her healing, it becomes a catalyst for the healing of Harmonyville as a whole. The town learns, as we all must, that the wounds left untreated fester and spread. By facing the past, acknowledging the pain, and seeking resolution, we not only heal ourselves but contribute to the healing of the communities we inhabit. The narrative suggests that the process of confronting the past is transformative. It is not merely a purging of painful memories but a journey towards self-discovery, growth, and understanding. Through the characters of Harmonyville, we witness the power of vulnerability, as individuals expose their truths, flawed and imperfect, yet authentic. As the story unfolds, the moral becomes a beacon of hope, a guiding light that illuminates the path toward redemption and closure. It suggests that, even in the face of discomfort, the pursuit of truth is a noble endeavor that ultimately leads to liberation. By embracing the complexities of our history, we pave the way for healing, not just for ourselves but for the communities we inhabit. In the end, the story of Harmonyville delivers a moral that speaks to the resilience of the human spirit. It invites us to peel back the layers of our past, to confront the shadows that linger, and in doing so, discover the transformative power of truth. It advocates for a collective awakening, where the courage to face our own truths becomes a catalyst for healing and unity.